Welcome back, Guardsmaniacs. It is Gary and ES Green, and Logan was here. He just disappeared. Maybe he will be coming back, just like the Guardians have been coming back. Last week when we talked, they were out of first place, but they are back into first place by a half a game. They won 4-2 in Milwaukee. I am Gary. What is going on, Eric?
Not much. Just we had a great time last week, and we can't forget to mention that. I know I kind of maybe leading into it a little quickly, but it was nice to see all the Joe Charbonneau and stuff. But anyway, hey, I'm here to talk more baseball.
Yeah, we had a great time last week, and Logan right now wanted the grand introduction. That's why he left right before we went live here, so you can come right back in.
Right when you said 3, 2, 1, it kicked me out. I thought that you guys.
That happened to me last week. I think that's some kind of trend.
Yeah. It's a trend. It's a trick. Well, guys, welcome back. We are Carlos Baerga-less this week. Joe Charbonneau less this week. But we are here. We're live. We're talking baseball. And Guardians, man, they've turning it around a little bit from, what we've seen last week. Now, there has been some stuff that has happened in this last week. They have been filled with news. They have been hit with the injury bug, really all in one game.
It was a disaster. It's the one after
sure.
that one game.
Yeah. We lost in one game. Angel Martinez, Jose Ramirez, and Chase DeLauder. All seems like they're going to be at least 2 out of the 3 going to miss some significant time. Jose Ramirez breaking his hamate bone and his left hand. Yeah. We have Angel Martinez having a non-displaced fracture in his foot. And then the one that honestly, the other one, not that they don't scare me, these other 2 injuries. We know how long they're going to be out, but man, Chase DeLauder with this rib injury, this one, I feel like this one is going to be one that is really just this is going to bother him. I feel like the rest of the year, they're going to try and make him play through it. And I just don't know how he is going to play through this thing.
I mean, this is kind of like the similar situation I believe Aaron Judge just went through.
And
your obliques, man, it's tough to heal when you're swinging a bat and throwing it. It doesn't heal well. Yeah.
Well, that's what I don't know if it's like the specific like oblique thing. It might be, but Cal Raleigh had that going on pretty much all year. And like you can technically play through it. Any rib injury, like you can play through it, but every time you do anything, it's going to hurt. It's going to sting a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
Cal Raleigh's on my fantasy team. He was out, like he just came back yesterday. He was out almost a month.
I mean, depending on how bad it is, sometimes when you get injured, and you make those sudden moves, the pain is so sharp, and then you're always thinking, am I going to feel that pain? Am I going to feel that pain when I throw, right, when I twist, when I bat? And I think that messes with you mentally.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever hurt your ribs, but
yeah.
I mean, you can't hardly breathe sometimes when you hurt your ribs.
It's one of the worst pains. It really is.
So I can't imagine trying to swing a baseball bat or throw a guy out at second or run or do any of the things that you need to do as a baseball player with a rib injury. And, Chase DeLauder, he's not a guy that isn't not injured ever. Every year since he's been drafted in professional baseball, he's had to deal with these injuries.
Yes, he's been quite dinged up over his career, and already here in the major leagues, he's seeing time on the DL. So,
yeah,
it is worrisome.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Guardians, they're a team that is resilient, and one way or another, they seem to you put them up against the wall, and they seem to respond. Last year they have 2 players that go down for federal charges for gambling. And somehow that is you think that you need to make a move, or, those are the types of things that make other teams fall off a cliff.
Right.
And one way or another, this is something for the Guardians that got them going. And this is the thing that, that put them on that streak last year. And here we are, the Guardians, they started to fall a little bit. The White Sox catch them. And here we are back a half game in first place.
With that big series with the White Sox looming here on the horizon right after the Houston series. So that'll be a huge series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just clearing my throat.
Yeah, we just came off the Brewer series here, taking a look. Wasn't a great series. They took 2 out of 3. But it had a big win today. Parker Messick comes in and does what Parker Messick has been doing here. Parker Messick comes in, gives you some good innings. You win 4-2. Cade Smith shuts the door. And this is really what you've wanted. You need a little bit more out of Gavin Williams. I know he didn't pitch 2 games in here, so I believe it was last night that he lost.
That first inning was brutal.
Yeah. Oh man, he got messed up.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like, this is kind of what you get. Like, I think we could be looking at a year or 2 down the road, like Gavin or like Gary. I think you and I, like on one of the first couple episodes, like we're kind of going back and forth on who like the ace of the team would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably in a year or 2, we could be sitting there and it's almost like a CC Cliff Lee situation, like where we have these 2 guys that are both in the top 5, top 10, Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still probably a year or 2 away. So you're going to end like you get these outings like just where they get shelled. And it's just kind of the growing pains of like turning into one of those elite pitchers. Some guys come in and they immediately have it, which those guys are just next level.
Well, Milwaukee's a potent offense, and we really shut them down for the most part, except for that one game. Like you said, they got to Gavin, hit him hard. It happens. Watching the game too, I almost started thinking like, only thing I can think of was like Astros, the way they were hitting the ball. I'm like, are these people cheating? Because it looked like they like that game, just that game.
Yeah.
To me, but obviously, I don't think that's the case.
They had to have been cheating. There's no other
right. There's no reason we lose that game.
Yeah.
But that's when you have an organization that does something like that cheated almost a decade ago now with what the Astros did. You do that, and now for the rest of time, whenever the Astros have a game like that, you cast doubt on their abilities and are they an organization that is cheating? Jose Altuve is still on that team. Doesn't matter if he's 90 years old. He's on that team. Did you cheat?
And your boy said that we're not allowed to boo him because apparently it gets him. What was it? Hoynes said that. Hoynesy.
It riles him up.
That we're not supposed to be able to boo him. I'll boo that guy as long as he takes the field against us. He's getting booed every time.
Yeah, I'm there with you. So Guardians fans, boo him every time.
Yeah. Because pretty soon he's going to be too old. He can't do anything about it anyways, even if it does get him amped up.
No, they robbed us of that couple playoffs, right?
Yeah.
At least that one.
At least the one, yeah.
Yeah, at least that one, definitely robbed us of that one on there. We got the Astros.
Like Evan, just with the Williams outing, like that Yelich leadoff home run, like that immediately takes you out of like you prepare all day, like when you're a starting pitcher, like all the guys do, but like you've got your routine and get out there 2 or 3 hours before the game and stretch, and then you'll get out an hour before and stretch again, long toss, throw a little bullpen session, and then the first guy hits a home run off of you.
And you already know you're on a team that struggles to score, so you're
game over, yeah. But it just immediately, like you sat there and you could have been listening to Spotify for 30 minutes, getting pumped up before the game, listening to some Logan Bruce music or Drake, whatever it is. But then once that ball goes over the fence, it's like you're mentally out of it at that point.
Punch in the face first in a title fight,
right? And he did. It was one thing, and I'm not like talking crap at all because he actually has liked a couple of my videos on Instagram. So we also know that Gavin Williams watches the show.
Right, he's a Guardsmania.
Yeah. But like when the ball went over the fence, like his body language, like you could see that he was upset. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Yeah.
But he like kind of rolled his eyes and like made a weird face, and I like that's the kind of stuff I think like as they progress through their careers, it's like. Kluber, you never saw, and like no matter what was, even if he was throwing a complete game shutout, it looked the same exactly as if he gave up 5 runs in the first inning. Like you could not tell what was going on.
No, he's always had the same expression.
Yeah,
keeping his emotions in check, which is valuable.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it in youth sports.
I was bad at it. Yeah, that was my thing, and I mentioned I think Gary again when we had our first week. We were talking about the difference between starting pitching and closing. Like I was the hardest thrower on like almost every team I was on, but I could not close because I would get like I was way too energetic. Like I would try to throw as hard as I could, and if somebody got hit off of me, I was visibly upset because I was trying to be Mariano Rivera, and then this kid just got a hit off of me, and it was like, you got to like really have your emotions in check. It's crazy.
But I think that's where, when we were talking last week about like our hitting coaches and pitching coaches and things like that, that's where that calming influence comes into play. That's where you need those leaders in the clubhouse. That's where they have to step in and kind of calm things down. So, your Patrick Bailey, your Austin Hedges, that's where they make their money.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
We need somebody in there that's going to be able to do that for Gavin Williams, because he's, as far as stuff goes, there's nobody on that team that is better than Gavin Williams.
Right.
And Gavin Williams just needs somebody in there that's going to be able to keep him calm and keep him in the game and keep him steady. You can't have somebody with that sort of stuff, losing their head just because you're giving up a leadoff home run.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And he didn't like freak out or anything. But it was just like, you could see like he was upset. And even like then to take the step further, like, okay, if you don't show that you're upset, the next step would be to actually not be upset about it at all. Like you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, even though like Corey Kluber, like, I don't know if he got upset at himself. It didn't look
sure
like
they
it.
do. I'm sure
Yeah,
he has
they
emotions.
probably do.
It's just like you said, not being able to let them overcome you or put them on display for everyone to see. Because like you said, you watch for it, and I watch for stuff like that too. I watch for body language when I'm watching sports, and
if we saw
a
it,
lot of people do.
If we saw it,
the other team sees it.
They saw it, yeah,
for sure.
So and he's having a great year. Like, there's nothing bad to say about the guy at all. It was just something that kind of stood out. And it is one of those things, though. Like, we'll get like, we have the Houston series coming up. Like all that stuff, like the mature people in the locker room, and like that's where, again, like you mentioned it though, Gary, like the Guardians like seem to fight their way through it somehow. But we have like a very young team, and it's a very crucial part of the year that we have coming, or like in the schedule coming up right now. And we don't have, I mean, even with Martinez out, like we don't have 3 of our top 5 hitters, probably
33% of the lineup. Yeah,
like Martinez has been surprisingly like very, very good this, like for what we would normally expect of him. He's outplayed that by a mile.
Yeah, all 3 of those guys have really been having decent seasons. I mean, Jose's Jose, not quite up to what he would like, but by any means, it's still good.
But it seemed like he was getting hot right before he got hurt.
He's still the veteran in the like. It's like even us fans like are thinking like, well, we always have Jose. Like
we knew that coming, right?
Yeah,
Jose's
like
big
breakout. We have Jose. Yeah.
I mean, if there is a bright spot of any of these injuries, I kind of feel that this is going to force the Guardians to make a move, because Ramirez is out 5 to 7 weeks. I don't remember what the time frame for Martinez being out is, but it seems like it's right around that same time.
Like 2-3 weeks maybe.
But you're looking about at least a month without those guys. Chase DeLauder, that's a rib injury, so you don't really know how long that's going to take to heal. Those things usually take a while. But you definitely can't sit him down and rest him right now with all these other injuries. So you're going to need some reinforcements. And you're bringing up guys like, for example, you just brought up Khalil Watson. You don't know what you have in him. You have Cooper Ingle, who we were just talking about before the show, down in AAA, and he'd had a 3 home run game, but the guy can't play defense anywhere.
Is he still lighting it up down there?
Yeah, he had 4 for 4, 3 home runs, a double last game, but like I was watching the Clippers game. I saw him make 3 errors or mistakes in one game.
Yeah, you can't
fumble the ball in the
ball.
outfield, and let 2 pass balls go by him.
And as long as you have Reese Hoskins on this team, there's no place for him to DH. And he's a left-handed bat, so you're not going to bring him up and get rid of your only right-handed bat, really, that you can plug in there.
I mean, this
could be team is very left-handed heavy.
He could be a trade piece.
Cooper Ingle?
We would get a very
Cooper Ingle, yeah.
Like throw somebody else in too, probably, but maybe not though. Like we could get a really solid veteran bat.
We say that
watch this guy turn into Mike Piazza after we trade him, but
for sure. And it just, And it seems that in our past, we get these guys that we think very highly of, and then they end up turning into relievers.
Mhm.
You know, we trade. Who was the guy that had the 50-game hitting streak, switch hitting catcher 10 years ago that we traded for Andrew
Francisco
Miller?
Mejia.
Yeah, Francisco Mejia. I love Andrew Miller, and Andrew Miller was a big part of the 2016 run. But when it comes down to it, he was a middle reliever that we turned our top prospect into. And so I would just, was it Mejia? No. We traded Mejia for Brad Hand.
Yeah.
We traded him for Brad Hand. So either way, we traded though our top catching prospect for a reliever. So I'm hoping that if this is the case and we are going to end up, start flipping prospects, I'd like to see us get a little bit more than what we've gotten in the past. Not that Brad Hand was bad. He was good for what we needed. I just, in the past, Brian Giles turned into Ricardo Rincon.
And that's why we don't need a bullpen row. Like we still again, Matt Festa, I think like somebody told him in his contract that he needs to give up a run every time he pitches. Yeah. Like we could use relievers, but I agree. Like if we are going to make a move like that, I mean, if it's one of the best relievers, like the Andrew Miller, like that move at least says like, okay, we're going all in. They actually kind of, we talked about it before, kind of ruined the guy's career after that. Cause they knew that, okay, we're trading whoever we traded for him. I don't remember, but we're getting this dominant reliever and he's going to pitch anytime we need a left-handed arm.
But that's revisionist history, though, because Andrew Miller became a reliever because he had arm problems when he was a prospect, I think, with Detroit. He was a starter, had arm problems, and got hit. So it's not like Andrew.
I'm saying they.
And I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying Andrew Miller comes out there and talk. The rumor is that Andrew Miller is upset because of all of that. But it's not like Andrew Miller had this sparkling career beforehand where he never had arm issues or anything like that. Andrew Miller got to where he was because he had these arm issues. So who's to say just because it's not because the Indians, Guardians used him that way that all of a sudden he had these arm issues. Andrew Miller had issues before that.
Yeah. I'm just saying like if we like were to trade for a guy like that, then it would need to be a guy like that, not just some random reliever. Like it would need to be like a Josh Hader or something. And that move at least, and the way they used him, I guess is what I was saying. Like that was them pushing like all their chips in. Like, okay, we're getting like now we have two of the best relievers in the game, and we're going to use them whenever the hell we need to, because we're going to try to go win a World Series. So yeah, I think we were probably on the same page. Like if we're going to trade Engel or someone, then it needs to be a World Series move. Like we're going to go get Josh Hader. I know we have, Hunter Gaddis and Cade Smith already back there, but what if we had three badass guys back there? And that's how we're going to win the World Series is because we have the three, like the best back end of the bullpen in the league.
For sure. I mean, I want to see a guy like Jordan Alvarez, though. If you're going to make a deal like that, that's who I want in that deal. Not that
I would much rather have a big hitter than anybody else.
This team sorely needs hitting, and that's what I was going to say. It's, they could use the bullpen piece. And does this team really World Series caliber? I mean, I know anything can happen in the playoffs, but their offense is not, to me, World Series, caliber, and they're going to have trouble in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So do you even make a move this year, or do you just wait? Is next year going to be our year?
Ask you guys, do you think they are? And it sounds messed up, but like, are they going to try? Like, are they trying to win a World Series this year, or do we have so many young pieces that they kind of know that it might be next year?
Well, it's just like you don't want to sell today or tomorrow for today when we could be better down the road. Like, and we were talking before. There's the three guys from in the All-Star game: Ernie Clement, Yandy Diaz, and Junior Caminero. All guys that came through here, and they're all going to be. I think two of the three are going to be starting in the All-Star game if they continue getting the voting they do.
Yeah.
But so you don't want to give up on these guys too early either.
Because Hedges is probably retiring at the end of the year, so you'd think, like I think if they're going to have to, I don't know if he's hitting whatever he's hitting and hitting bombs every night, like that they're like he's kind of pushing his way onto the roster, but there's not room for him. But you have to. It's almost like Bazana, and he wasn't even doing it to this extent, but like he was making noise down there, and it's like, okay, well, eventually the guy's got to get his shot.
They can't keep coming out and putting 3 hits on the board, 4 hits on the board. It's not going to do it.
He just hit 3 home runs. Like he had that many home runs as we had hits.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's.
But
if you can't play defense, then I don't know what the hell.
I think the thing about the Guardians too, though, is like we keep thinking about them doing business as usual, and we don't know what business as usual is going to be for them after this year. There's a couple different things. There's going to be a change in ownership, and there's going to be a change in the CBA. So we don't.
Owners are even cheaper.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. It doesn't seem that that's going to be the case.
Yeah,
but we don't know. And with the new CBA coming up, it may not be a choice to be cheaper. They may have to spend money. And if that's the case, then you might have an opportunity right now to get some pieces at a price that you wouldn't be able to get them at because of the labor uncertainty. Maybe teams like Houston and some other teams who aren't contending, wanting to get out from underneath some expensive pieces. And teams like the Guardians, who have lower payrolls, get them for maybe a little less than they could have previously, and maybe in the future, which would bring them up to the floor.
And they need to get there anyways.
They need to get there anyways.
You might as well get Yordan Alvarez because you're going to need to spend the money somewhere.
For sure. And wouldn't you rather spend it on that than, everything that you're going to have to do to get up to it anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of unknown. And I think that the Guardians really could be in an advantageous position, especially if I'm rooting for this floor. The deal that the owners put out. I used to be a teacher, man. I worked pro union. I'm usually, with the workers. In this situation, I'm definitely rooting for, from what I've read and what I've heard and what I've seen, I'm definitely rooting for the deal that the owners put out there, because I really think it does help baseball. It helps everybody out, and specifically with the Guardians, it forces them to, bring that floor up. And specifically in a situation like this, they could put them in a position where, like you were saying, we have to bring that floor up anyway. Go out and get a guy like Alvarez.
That's right.
You're already there.
I'm on the same. Yeah, I agree with you. At least as the floor is concerned, I also kind of don't, and I get the union or the player association not wanting a cap. But I don't, dude. I like seeing Soto or all, nobody. Juan Soto does not deserve 600, and he deserves it because that's what he got paid. But no one should be making $600-700 million to play baseball. And it's but I know why the players would disagree with me on that. But it's just give us put us in, even if it's 250 million or 200 million floor and a 500 million cap, make the cap relatively high, but make it to the point where other teams can compete for it. Again, Kyle Tucker's making 50 million a year, whatever the heck it is, and he's hitting low 200s. He's having the worst year of his career, but they don't care. They have $400 million to spend on a guy, so screw it, let's spend it.
That would be devastating to a franchise like us.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we don't even offer those in the first place, and he's the 6th one they have.
For sure, but the Guardians though could be in a position like that had they been bidding for and signed Shohei Ohtani, for example. So we talk about guys don't deserve to have that kind of money, except for a guy like Shohei Ohtani, who's bringing in so much money from Japan and so much outside money that Shohei Ohtani is the LA Dodgers right now. That guy is bringing in so much international money. He's not only paying for himself, he's paying for everything over there.
Yeah. He is Mr. Baseball right now.
For sure. He is baseball. And so with Shohei Ohtani, everything that he's brought in for the Dodgers can spend like that. Not that they couldn't before. They already could. But now with Ohtani in there, their margin for error is unbelievable. And baseball, all of baseball should be benefiting from it, not just the Dodgers. If you're a person who thinks that you want all of baseball to benefit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's just where, again, I don't know. It might be because I'm getting old, but just seeing how much, in all this, every sport, all these contract jumps, it's my God, man, how like Miles Garrett signed his extension in LA, and they he's up at 40-50 million a year now, and it's like, man, like these, like they just make so much money.
We were talking to Bob Golick, right? He was even mentioning back when he was playing that they still had to work jobs.
Yeah.
Half of the guys worked jobs still after the
Right.
season was over. They asked him, "Do you want to work?" And he's like, "Nah."
Yeah. Does he has the barbecue sauce? Or no, that was Bubba Q's. That was Bubba Baker's.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of. Yeah.
But even Bob Golick still works. He still has a radio job.
Yeah.
Does a 5-day-a-week radio job. So
Right.
he worked Bob Golick was an all-pro in the NFL, was on Saved by the Bell, so it was in NBC prime time,
Mhm.
and still has to work.
Right.
So it was different times.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, all this to say, like, God bless Jose Ramirez for taking a mass, not even considering leaving to go somewhere else, and just realizing that 125 million or whatever his deal was, like, that's enough to play baseball
For sure.
So I don't know, but we can get back to the regular what's our regular scheduled programming of what we have coming up. What do we have? We have the Astros, you guys said, next.
Yeah, so we got the Astros coming up, and thank you very much, ES. You put this together for us so we can see the pitching matchup. So tomorrow night we got Tanner Bybee going up against Tatsu Imai, if I'm saying that correctly. And then
did not
Saturday,
check the pronunciations.
Can you say any of these? Yeah, all three of these Houston pitchers. Like, what are the chances you pronounce any of these correct?
we're going to give it a shot. We have a Joey Cantillo versus Spencer Aragati. Did I say that? Is that close?
There's a E. That one was the one I thought you were going to get. I think it's Arrighetti.
Arrighetti, okay. And then Slade Ciccone versus Kaiwi Tang.
That sounds good.
Right? Yeah.
I think I got that one right.
Yeah.
So these are all down in Houston, and we're playing a team that we were just talking about. They got some pieces there that would definitely look good in a Cleveland uniform.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
dude, if we trade for Jose Altuve, I'll freak out. I won't. Well, we got to cancel the podcast if we get Jose Altuve on our team.
Lucky for us, I don't think there's a place really for him to play.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that we're covered there. We don't have to worry about putting Jose Altuve in a Guardians uniform anytime soon, especially with the money that he's making.
That's true. Yeah.
But Jordan Alvarez once again would look really nice in a uniform here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm on board with that. I think they might be able to. We have enough pieces. Like, all we have are prospects. We actually are voted by the other GMs as the team that hoards their prospects the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like a month ago, that poll came out. So we have a ton of them. Just trade them and get a superstar, please.
So so they're playing it. It's now Dakin Park. How do you say that now? Do we know how to even say that?
We don't know how to say their
Daikin.
None of their players, their stadium. It's just.
That's what I thought. They
I thought it was
Japan?
Minute Maid. It's not Minute Maid Park anymore.
No, that's what it came up as.
Okay, I mean, I remember when it was Enron. But that's a whole other thing.
Man, the Astros just have no luck. Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, it was Minute Maid Park up until 2024.
Okay,
then it became Daikin the last 2 seasons.
Could you imagine, like, as a company, you spend all of that money to sponsor the ballpark, and nobody knows what you are.
Minute Maid. Yeah,
right.
Still Minute Maid. And I still imagine they have that big hill out in center field.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
How awful did that have to be to run up? Imagine you're running full speed, and then all of a sudden your knees are in your chest.
Oh. And then you realize, oh shit, there's a flagpole in the middle of this thing.
It's the dumbest design ever.
Yeah. But I would never want to play center field there, but that was one of them that was like, okay, this is like a unique baseball thing. I kind of like it. But they probably took it down because it was like quieting the sound of the drums they were trying to bang. To let guys know what pitch was on the way.
Oh, for sure. But could you imagine? They also took it down too, because you want to be
dangerous. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Eventually, someone's going to tear an ACL or do something out there on that stupid hill.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. It's
just the dumbest thing.
Dude, this is already really weird, like, dimensionally. You know what we should do? Let's put like 8 feet of elevation right in the middle of it.
Yeah, let's just put a hill in the middle in the outfield.
A flag right in the center of that.
I think they wanted to slow people down before they hit
Yeah.
the fence. That's the idea. If you're going downhill and all of a sudden you have to go uphill, you don't hit the fence as hard.
No,
That's
we're gonna
true.
build this awesome baseball field. There's gonna be dips and hills. We're gonna put
like a miniature
potholes in
golf
the
course.
Every
infield.
warning track should every stadium should just have them elevated, so you know they you're about to run. So yeah, we're gonna. I don't know. Like our lineup, we have. I guess the title of the show is the roster changes. Like so, yeah, we have Khalil Watson. Who else is even? Yeah, what do we have here?
Yeah, so we'll go here. So we'll start on the 14th. So, we put Jose Ramirez on the 10-day IL, which is going to be there a little longer. He's out 5 to 7 weeks.
Yeah,
Designated George Valera for assignment, which was really sad for anybody that's been following the Guardians for any amount of time. He was a top prospect for the Guardians for quite a long time, and just injuries have stopped him from really doing anything. We talk about guys like Ernie Clement and Junior Caminero and any of these prospects that the Guardians had that were watching do something somewhere else. That's a guy that you're going to watch possibly do something somewhere else. Just was hit by the injury bug and never really got his shot here.
Right. If he puts it all together, he could break out for somebody else, and got to be healthy. And he just never could put it together here in the majors.
Yeah.
and they just don't. That's the problem, though. Like, not the problem. Like the Guardians still find a way to figure it out or make it work, but it's like people don't get consistent playing time, and it's kind of the MLB in general. But I feel like the Guards are still a little further along with like so many platoon guys. Like Petey Halpin's back up. Like he's been up and down a few times within the last calendar year, and when he comes up, he doesn't play all that often. So it's like, what do you like? How do you get these guys on a roll? Or right. Khalil Watson and Petey Halpin are both up here.
Don't forget they traded Nolan Jones, who was playing right field.
Yeah, but that's good though, because it's giving these guys a shot now. It's giving them a pathway to have a little bit, at least a little bit of playing time, even up here or down in AAA. And the problem with Halpin is that these guys get typecast. Halpin's a defense guy, so they bring him in for defense. They never really try and develop their bats up here.
I didn't realize he was a third-round pick a few years ago. Like we drafted him pretty high. For sure.
And then you got guys like Gabriel Arias, who just seem to have 9 lives. Everywhere you turn, this guy is getting another shot. And I think we talked in the last couple of weeks here that Arias's time seemed to be over. There was no way that he was going to get another shot. And then what do you know? Ramirez is on the DL, and this looks like this could be Arias's last shot.
He shows flashes. That's the problem. It's like right before he got hurt. And I've said it a million times, but I was at the game where he got hurt. And the few games before that, so I was just paying attention because I knew I was going to go to the game. Like he started to hit well, like the last 4 or 5 games before he got hurt. And then it's just like, I don't know if it's his luck or what it was, but it's like figures. Now he's on the IL for 2 months. So you still like don't really know. Like I think if he'd been playing consistently this whole time, it seemed like he might have been on his way to working it out. And then he has to go on the shelf for 2 months. So now like you're saying, Gary, like I guess like we haven't like he'll get another month like to try to get back on track because he's been sitting down for 2 months. And probably right before Jose's ready to come back and all that, I can guarantee you Arias is going to start hitting again, and we're going to be like, all right. And he shows flashes on defense. Like the dude has a cannon for an arm. Like there's no doubt.
He did play some left field when he was rehabbing in AAA.
Yeah. See, man, we platoon guys more than
that's a nice thing about
good. Yeah.
That's the nice thing about Arias is he does play all over the place. So if you can get his bat going finally, you can find a spot for him.
Yeah.
He's a guy that even if you can get his bat going, Rhys Hoskins is a guy that can go, and he can fill that spot. Arias can play first base, third base. He can play everywhere in the infield and left field.
Dude, I just any of us on the show just got to get our batting averages up about 180 points, and
for sure.
Hoskins.
I did hear Arias saying that he's most comfortable on the left side. He prefers third or short. He did say that in an
Evoke's
interview.
going to hear that and say, all right, you're playing first base and right field.
I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at this point though, you got to get him on the field.
Got to get that
and
bat in the lineup and see if it's going to come alive. See if it's going to be
For
what
sure.
you thought.
And I'm happy that, I don't want DeLauder on the DL. I'm happy they put him on there though. I'm happy that, I know at first they were talking about trying to make him play through it. I'm
Mhm.
happy that they're not.
Same.
I don't see how you play through a rib injury like that.
Hopefully they don't try to rush. Like that's the only, and you hinted at it a little bit, Gary. I think we're going to be in the middle of a division race, probably still in a month or in a few weeks. Like I don't want them to rush him back either. But then that's kind of like you walk the line of like, we need this guy, but I say just as long as he needs, even if it's 6 weeks, like just let him get healthy
For sure.
because you don't want him coming back and playing poorly, and then all of a sudden, like we don't know if he's any good, which doesn't matter what we think, but he doesn't, like he starts to get in his head because he doesn't play well. So just sit him, don't let him take the field until he's 100%.
Yeah, and I'm right there with it. And like we were saying before, you got these guys that you're calling up. You don't know what you have in them, but they're highly touted prospects. You are in a division race. Make a move. Go all in. You did it 10 years ago. Look what happened. And when you went in all in 10 years ago, what happened to your attendance?
I was gonna say the 90s 90s is the perfect example of it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
would you consider calling up your top prospects, going all in? Like this is kind of like the future. You're pushing it ahead. You don't consider that?
No, that's
you
not
would have
going
to bring
all
in
in.
Outside resources.
Going all in is getting proven commodities to bolster, to bolster your lineup and your pitching staff.
I mean, the AL is kind of wide open. It's like the East and the NBA. The Knicks seem pretty good, but it's like the Cavs are right back in it next year. Like there's not a Dodgers on in the AL right now, where it's still pretty wide. Like we have is there a team that is like clearly much better than we are? I don't know about that.
Not really.
It's kind of sad because for the other teams, when you look at just how our team is built, like that we are arguably like a top 3 team in the AL right now.
Well, the Yankees should be. They have a 122 run differential.
Yeah,
they're the number 1 run differential in the American League by far. The New York Yankees.
They don't count.
122 plus 122 runs. Second place, Seattle, 23.
I forgot about Seattle though. Like that's
23 to 122 though.
We got the salary.
That's crazy.
And then next year, what's going to happen, and I don't want to start complaining about it again, but there's I don't know if Yordan Alvarez is a free, but Tarek Skubal is going to hit the free agent market, and the Yankees are the most dominant team in the AL this year. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go say, okay, or the Dodgers, but the Yankees will go out and buy the best pitcher available.
Or if he's going to be hurt and garbage, then the Angels will sign him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's got Angels written all over him if he's going to be injury prone.
That's true.
Or Mets. Angels, if he's going to be good, he'll go to the Yankees or the Dodgers. If he's going to be garbage, he's going to go to the Angels or the Mets.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I would agree with that.
You guys know Grayson Rodriguez, like the dude that was the Orioles top pitching prospect. He's on the Angels now. That's who they actually, you mentioned Tyler Ward, whoever.
Yeah.
On Baltimore. That's who they traded with LA for. He's on my fantasy team. That dude has been on the IL more than anyone I've ever seen in my life. He's on the IL at least 6 times a year. He was off of it for 3 games, put up an 8 ERA, and now he's back on the IL again. So that's the kind of guy, we're going to trade for him, I bet, and try to bolster our rotation by bringing an 8.4 ERA.
Electric stuff, though. Electric stuff.
Sorry, I've been waiting for a reason to bitch about this guy. We can start talking about something else.
But going kind of back to what we were saying about the salary cap, and that's what I would like to see most, is that us being able to sign guys that came up here instead of having to trade them away. in fear of
Like
losing them
Lindor.
and stuff. Like
Yeah,
Lindor, right. I mean, to me, that was the best move. You were going to lose him. We knew that.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to stay here. So
I mean,
got
we're
to
even
get
saying
something
it
for
with a
these
guy
guys.
like Quan, like not anymore, but last year that conversation was happening. And it was like,
Mhm.
why the hell would we not be able, like, why it should not be to where we cannot, and it's not all on the salary cap and all that, but it's the owners, obviously. But why are we having the conversation that Steven Kwan is too expensive for a Cleveland team to afford? Like, that should never be the case.
Well, the question is he worth it?
Well, now, yeah, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's like we were having the Lindor conversations about Quan. Because it's like, well, Quan's going to make 200 million. Like somebody might pay him 200 million. He wins Gold Gloves and hits 300 every year. Like that shouldn't be the case where we have to worry about losing the Steven Kwans of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, like now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's not even the top level guys anymore. It's these mid level guys that we're talking about not being able to resign.
Right.
And
they overpay him and they don't. They don't care if they miss on some of these
the Mets
free
would
agent
sign him for
signings.
150 million and just they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, so I don't. It's going to be interesting because we have all these young guys like in the middle of you can't call it a pennant race, I guess, in the middle of June, but like all of these young guys in the middle, like fighting for the division.
Mm-hmm.
Even like we were talking, Gavin Williams, Parker Messick, like Cade Smith, even our pitching, which is the best part of our team, like those are all young guys, which like bodes well for the future, I think, like in a year or two.
But for how long though? You know, so here's the thing: is that pitchers get hurt, and by the time these guys develop with the way the pitching is, they're going to be shipped off, right? So like, how many years did you really get out of Shane Bieber before you had to ship him off?
Yeah.
You know, so this not to keep going back. Well, I do want to keep going back to it. Baseball needs this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, baseball. It's time. The players have had their way for a long time. This needed to happen in '94, and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a labor stoppage. And we lost the World Series that year, and that really hurt Montreal, and that hurt Cleveland, and it hurt a lot of teams. It hurt baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they can say that Cal Ripken saved baseball afterwards, and that was great. But man, think about how incredible that would have been had that not happened, and then Cal Ripken happens. The momentum that they would have been on. Had they not had that work stoppage.
And that wasn't 94 the first year of division play?
Yeah. It was the first year of wild card.
Very first year you got that going, yeah, and you just shut it down.
Yep.
That was kind of like, you know, and you said Cleveland, we were right there.
Yep.
We were fighting for a spot with the White Sox.
We just got in the wild card when that happened.
Yes.
And I know this is 30 years ago, but it's relevant now because
Wait, it was a work stoppage in the middle of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after like end of July, early August.
It's not a holdout situation, like where the year doesn't start. The year had started and it cut off.
Yes.
Yep.
And the Indians had just taken the lead of the wild card.
Yeah. And this is a team that had been bad for 30 years at that point. We hadn't had any success then.
Had no success. And the
Browns.
And Albert Bell had the batting title at that point, and then on that last day, Paul O'Neill had 2 hits and got the batting title from him. So he was hitting like 351, and Bell was hitting 349. The Browns were still there at the time.
Yeah,
so
I'm just saying, the Browns are 11-2 on their way to in the number 1 seed, and the season just shuts off.
Yeah, dude, it was, and this is the first year of Jacobs Field.
Yeah.
You know, so the sellout streak has started.
Yeah.
Montreal is incredible. They've got like Rondell White,
Vladdy,
Moises Alou. Pedro's on that team.
Guerrero young.
What's that?
Vlad Guerrero. Or
I don't know if he's there yet. Maybe if he is, he's really young.
Yeah.
I mean, just Larry Walker's on that team.
Yeah, they were 74-40 at the time, the Montreal Expos in 94. Yep.
John Wetland's on that team.
And they probably were, I would assume, selling out. Like
Larry Walker, we said that, right?
Yeah.
he said
I mean,
Larry Walker.
That's the strike killed Montreal. The Nationals went to Washington because of that strike.
Yeah.
Nobody ever
you
showed up.
Them and like win a World Series, and the fans are all showing up for the next 5 years. Then they probably don't move.
Yep.
Fans never showed up again after that strike.
Yeah.
And baseball, they have a short memory. And
very much so.
They have a very short memory.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of teams. It's great. I'm so happy that New York does well and the Dodgers do well. That's so cool. And I'm so happy for them.
Thank God the Knicks won the championship, man. I always feel so bad for New York.
Oh, yeah, New York. You know what I mean? But dude, everybody else has got to survive. There's 20 something other teams out there that need, that have fans and should be doing well.
It should at least have hope for their team.
Yeah. And I know, and I understand that. Listen, I understand that you expanded the playoffs and there are other teams that make the playoffs. But when you look at it, though, who are your World Series champions?
Right.
You have like the one-offs every now and then, but
so if we go in the last 30 years, MLB champions.
But you could even say like the Nationals, I think what they won 2019 with like Bryce Harper and them. And then 2 years later, Bryce Harper is in a bigger market in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but you're going to tell me Washington, D.C. is not a major market?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the nation's capital.
He still even moved up. Like he still found a way to a bigger market in Philadelphia.
All right, so Washington, right? Atlanta is a big market. Houston's the fourth largest. Dallas, that's Texas, right? Boston, Houston, Chicago. Kansas City is the small one. St. Louis. San Francisco is a large one.
Is this ranking your salaries?
I'm not even ranking salaries. I'm just talking about large market teams.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in large market cities, right? So like in the last 25 years, Phoenix and St. Louis. And St. Louis. Yeah, Phoenix and St. Louis.
In 2015, right?
In Kansas City. So 3. That's it.
What, have won the World Series?
Yeah. Small market cities. The rest have been Boston, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Miami.
Yeah. Well, the Rays
Los
in 2020.
Angeles. Yeah, the Rays didn't win a World Series.
No, they were the runner-up. My bad.
I mean, Miami's. Have you guys ever been down there to a game? It's like it's probably. I don't want to check the attendance, but it's sad. Like when you're mentioning teams that just hanging on, like Miami's the first team that comes to mind. There's no support for that team down there it's sad because there's like a huge baseball community down there. I mean, like there's a huge Cuban, like little Havana down there in Miami. Just a Hispanic community in general. Like it's a huge part of the Miami culture, and no one gives a crap about their major league team because they don't spend money.
It's because they don't spend money, but they're still in a large market.
Right. That's probably the biggest problem is why they don't spend money.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only times they spent a bunch of money was 1997
and 03. The two times they spent money, they won a World Series.
Yeah. But it was like I was there. I lived down near Miami. It was Stanton's last year there, and it was everyone knew he was gone. Like there wasn't even a question whether or not it wasn't a LeBron situation here where we were questioning like whether he was going to stay or not. They knew he wasn't going to stay, and they knew he was going to go to New York. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know. Miami's a super weird one. I don't know why they don't spend, but then the argument from their owners would be, well, nobody goes to our games. And it's
I don't know who the owner actually is down there either.
Yeah.
Is it Jeffrey Loria?
I don't know.
Is it still?
Is it still Loria?
But yeah, that was a little side rant. There was just they're the first team that came to mind that said like, I mean, they get 20 fans a game. Like after there's no season next year, like they're not going to get those 20 people to show up.
Mhm.
Right. I don't know.
You know,
Peter Bendix, president in baseball operations.
but who's the owner? Is it Loria still?
It's not the Dolphins owner, is it?
Now, are you talking about the guy that used to own Blockbuster?
Maybe like he's from Michigan. He's a Michigan guy. I can't remember. Ross.
So Bruce Sherman is the
Sherman.
guy who owns the Marlins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do better, Bruce Sherman. Do better.
For sure.
Like,
But you know, it's one of those things now too, though, where if you're one of those owners, okay, spend money, but you know what comes first? You know, the chicken or the egg. Now they have. You can't. Are you going to spend that money before the people come? You know, these people are so.
Field of dreams, man. If you build it.
You say that, but that's easy to say when you're not the one spending millions of dollars.
I say it. I don't believe that at all. Like, I don't blame them for not spending money. And you have to overpay for it too.
Yeah.
Like, Juan Soto, you probably would have to pay him $900 million to get him to go to Miami because the team sucks.
For sure.
And the team would continue to suck with Juan Soto there. Like,
for sure.
He's not going to fix it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that worries me. If they put this floor in, that they're just going to throw money at all these guys to bring them in, and there's going to be no cohesion, going to be no, you know, it's just not going to work. But
guards ball,
because everybody's going to be up in their cap, so everybody's going to be adding players.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure they add. That's when I think they, you know, when it comes back to developing your own and re-signing your own players, I'd rather would see them do that. But if the guys aren't there, you got to go outside and get other guys.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think you have to, and I think that raising the floor also is gonna extend the careers of guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so right now you have guys that are out of the league before their time because everybody's looking for like the cheap alternative, and you have guys that aren't developing, that don't get developed. They come up to the major leagues faster than they should, and they're out of the league before they ever should because they're coming up because they're cheap. They're cheap and controllable. Right. Now, if you raise that floor, you have to spend that money. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to have some more veterans in there, and you might have some guys that are more coachable. And it goes back to what we were talking about with Baerga and Charbonneau. So maybe it improves the quality of baseball because you have more veterans now, and you have guys that are actually going to listen to their coaches, and maybe there is more cohesion. You know, maybe you have baseball again.
I mean, I cannot, like, the 220 batting averages, and I say I cannot hit over 220. I would be able to probably get a major league hit if you put me out there. But like just watching like the quality of it, it's tough, man. Like that's why the 90s, again, like I know Gary, your stance on steroids is just let them back in, but I just want to like, again, the NBA is shooting 3-pointers every shot or in the NFL is 100% passing now because offense is what like gets people's attention. And that the 3-pointers and like that it becomes its own problem, I guess. Like if we start to have 12 to 10 ball games every night, like nobody wants that either.
For sure.
But those, unless you're playing in Vegas, those don't happen right now. Which you guys seen that Vegas, like the stadium there, like they're putting
Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, they're like, well, the A's are down there right now, and every game in that series, I think, like,
well, they're in Sacramento, aren't they?
Yeah, but they like played a series in Vegas,
okay,
like in their or near their future stadium, and every team was putting up 10+ runs a game because of the elevation and stuff. Like it was super weird, and it was just as unenjoyable as like watching guys hit 210 every year. Like it was not good baseball. It was just like the baseballs were juiced type thing. It was super weird.
You know, it's weird when that happens. I remember when they first put the team out when the Rockies came about, and that was happening in Colorado. And it seems like that's calmed down quite a bit over time. I don't know how the
Rockies stopped signing good players, so it doesn't matter. Like,
well, I mean, you didn't have to sign good players. It was everybody, and then they would sign these Cy Young pitchers out there, and they would go out there and they couldn't pitch all of a sudden. Like Denny Nagel went out there.
Mhm.
The Denny Nagel contract was like the albatross of the 90s. They bring him over from Atlanta and the Pirates, and he's Cy Young Denny Nagel. And he goes out there and all of a sudden he can't pitch, because everything's going over the fence.
Mhm.
But now, like I said, it's not like that. Even Ubaldo Jimenez, when we got him over from Colorado, we were saving his career, getting him out of there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think Charbonneau and Baerga, that's an interesting take. Just that having more veterans would improve the game. I could definitely see how that would be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for this to happen, man. I think it needs to happen. It's, I don't think the game needs saving, but I think the game needs improving. It definitely
sounds like they're super far apart.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
Yeah, where the players said like we're not ever gonna have a salary cap. They're gonna have to change. Well, then you're not going to change salaries because it's like,
so they're not going to have a salary. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right.
What? So then the next Ohtani, like, not that there will be one of him, but like the next superstar, the next Juan Soto comes up, and the owners are expected to pay him $800 million, and then the one after that is going to be the first $1 billion contract. Like, where does it stop?
For sure. And then where do the ticket prices stop too?
Yeah.
Right.
At what point do sports in general stop being affordable? It's been something that keeps being talked about.
Yeah.
But it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. People don't go like they used to. Part of it is, whether a team is good or not, but also a lot of it is affordability.
I mean, the Browns tickets are ridiculous, especially for the products that you go to see. Like, and it's going to get way worse in the dome. It's going to be so much more expensive.
Everybody's so excited for it. I'm not.
No, I like the energy of downtown, like during game, but like to the affordability of it, like parking is $50 to $100, unless you feel like walking 2 miles to the game. And it's like, that's just kind of sports in general now. When I went to the Cavs, playoff game the other day or a couple weeks ago, like it was the same thing, like $80 parking anywhere near the stadium. And then
it's outrageous.
Like luckily they gave, like when the Cavs gave me the tickets, it was all the free food area, so that was cool, and all free drinks, but I don't drink anymore, so I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, where was this 10 years ago?
Right.
With the free drinks. But yeah, it's so much money, and I don't know, is that you guys think that's because like they're paying these players so much, like that they try to cover cost elsewhere and like make up for it?
I mean, I think a lot of it is, if you look at, it's just the cost of entertainment everywhere. If you look at like concerts now too, I mean, look at the cost of look at how many of these big how many of these big artists canceled their arena tours?
Yeah, because people weren't paying $400 tickets.
Yeah, and I think it's, everybody wants their cut out of them now too.
Yeah.
Because people want their money.
Are they like 20? Like at Blossom, is a beer like $20?
Pretty much. Where does that beer cost? How does that beer cost $20?
Right.
And Blossom's owned by Live Nation now. You think anybody? Blossom's been there for how many years has Blossom been there? You think there's a mortgage on Blossom?
Right. So it's just
how is there what
they paid $1 for that beer, and they just flat out are making $19 each beer that they sell.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no, other than greed, there's no reason for it. So at some point, there's got to be, as a consumer, I don't mind you putting a floor on it, but you got to start putting a cap on it too.
Damn, I never thought of it that, like, think about, the baseball players are beers.
Yeah, and in the other sports, they put caps on it, and it's still unaffordable.
Yeah.
But in baseball, it's they've got to start doing it.
Especially when the product, I mean, I cannot do better than any of these hitters out there or pitchers, but like they're like the 210 batting averages, man. It's like I want to go watch Albert Bell hit 350 and hit 50 home runs if I'm going to pay a lot of money to go to a baseball game, or Manny Ramirez. Like,
not only that, but think about like in other sports.
mm-hmm.
In New York, everything in Boston is their rival.
Yeah.
Everything. You know, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, everything.
Yeah.
Here in Cleveland, in Pittsburgh, the Steelers are our rivals.
Pittsburgh doesn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, now I understand that. I understand that interleague play is, you know, interleague play is not necessarily new, but the fact that like the balanced schedule and that we're playing, you know, the Pirates every year the way that we do now is kind of a newer thing. But the Pirates are never in a position to like spend money to be good.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardians and the Pirates should be rivals.
I always thought
the lowest salary.
Yeah, you know, baseball is missing opportunities. And I love the Guardians, man. We're Guardsmania. We're maniacs about Cleveland baseball. We want Cleveland baseball to be awesome. On that token, we want rivalries. You know, Pittsburgh should be a big rival now that we're playing them every year.
Right.
You know, and that's only going to happen if Pittsburgh themselves is maintaining their free agents and, you know, has an opportunity to, you know, be there every year.
I mean, if we think like we have it bad, when like we don't, but like as far as retaining your players and signing new guys, like if we think it's bad here, I'm glad that we are not Pittsburgh.
I mean, dude, Pittsburgh has only had really like, think about like who's been in their division this whole time. Like St. Louis is a good organization and they do spend money, but the only monster in that division this whole time has been the Cubs.
Yeah.
And the Cubs have won one in the last 120 years.
I think St. Louis is one of the most successful franchises.
They're successful, man, but they're not. It's not like they're it's not like they're the Dodgers or the Yankees or.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean they have like Stan Musial and Albert Pujols. Like they've had great players.
But Albert Pujols left 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so I think
you know what I mean.
They've not like a top tier team. They're just consistent.
They're just consistent.
Like us, honestly.
And St. Louis it's been 15 years since St. Louis won.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Pittsburgh has had an opportunity.
Well, who'd they sign last year or maybe it was before this year?
Talking about Norland. You talking about Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they signed somebody, and it was the first time they spent double digit. Like it was a $10 million per year deal, or 11, and it was
it a free agent or one of their own guys?
It was the first time they actually went out and signed a free agent that was earning like 10 million plus a year. In the last 10 or 15 years, like they flat out have not signed a free agent that was like making a specific amount of money. I think it was 10 million or more a year.
Wow.
Like they just flat out do not do it. I'll have to find the stat and send it to you guys, but it was, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, this is pathetic. They did Andrew McCutchen wrong, or did him dirty.
Sure.
Like it's kind of letting his, like he's the one legend that you think of when you think of the Pirates from the last 20 years, maybe.
Oh, Jason Kendall.
Jason Kendall too, yeah.
When he was an all-star there, they did him wrong.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of guys. Denny Nagel. Denny Nagel should have never pitched for anybody but the Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds was never going to stay there. Barry Bonds wanted to play for the same team that Willie Mays played for. He was going to be a Giant. You know?
Yeah.
That was.
Dude, that sucks could you imagine? Like if we've had good players come and go, but we haven't had like the best player
of all time
ever. Like Myles Garrett leaving, kind of like getting traded, kind of sucked, but it was like that's not Barry Bonds.
No, we had LeBron James though leave. I mean, he did come back and win a ring, but
actually, now that I can say it, yeah. I guess LeBron, and he just please come home, LeBron, one more year, man. Nobody has anything to lose. We know LeBron's a big fan of the show, so hopefully he hears that and comes home.
Yeah, he's a big sponsor.
Yeah.
The show is brought to you by LeBron James
Yeah.
and Maverick Carter. Thank you
Not
guys
even
for
the
sponsoring
not
the
even
show.
his family foundation, just him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll see. Hopefully they make some ground on the CBA here,
Mhm.
and we can see some good rivalries, and we'll see what happens. But the Guardians now half game in first place as we go into Houston, and as we wrap this show up, are there any guys out there that you want to see the Guardians kind of go after to solidify this lineup? Who's on your wish list?
I mean, I'll go back to the trades. I still like the Curtis Mead, getting him here. He's an outfielder, can play first base, so he gives you a lot of flexibility there. Now, I don't know if Washington's going to want to trade him, but
I mean, the Yordan Alvarez ones, I think he's probably out of reach, or he shouldn't be, but the way that we think he probably is. But that would be huge.
Yeah, I'm Yordan Alvarez is who I'm.
Yeah, and that wasn't my idea. That's strictly because Gary's brought it up. I would have never, he's so far off of my radar. I would have never thought of it.
He's on my radar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed thinking about tonight.
You're targeting good players. Yeah, thinking, what if we brought in good ones? And it never even crossed my mind.
That's what I'm targeting. Yordan Alvarez. I'm targeting Yordan. I know you watch.
Yeah.
I know this is your third favorite show. I know you got to. I'm not going to think that this is your favorite show, Yordan. So if you guys don't mind, I want to take this solo real quick just to talk to him real quick. So
absolutely,
Yordan. I know you watch this show, and I know you watch it all the time. So listen, talk to your GM, talk to the guys out in Houston. Let them know that this is the place that you want to play. You want to play in Cleveland. You want to trade, and the only place that you will accept a trade to is Cleveland. And we will take you here. We will accept you here in Cleveland as a Guardian. You're one of the only guys that will actually accept here in Cleveland on a trade. So, we'll work our magic. You work your magic. And we look forward to seeing you as a Cleveland Guardian before the trade deadline. All right. Got you guys back. We talked to him.
Hey, hope
and
everything went okay.
Houston is going to have to pay for the other half of his contract if we do trade for him.
Yeah, that too. Well, that's part of the deal, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
27 million?
Vinyl? You have a Snoop Dogg vinyl back there? Is that what it
I
is?
do.
Nice.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Doggy style.
Yep.
It's how we want Jordan here.
Whatever it takes to get him here, man.
That's right.
Catchers.
Whatever style it takes.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, I want to make sure that we shout out all of our sponsors. First of all, shout out to Jennifer, Rest and Renewal Counseling, 216-815-1728. Make sure you give her a call if you need someone to talk to. She might need someone to talk to because Angel right now is probably just annoying the dog piss out of her with the second back-to-back Scene Magazine Sports Podcast of the Year for the Bearded Browns.
Wow.
So that's awesome. Congratulations to us Bearded Brownsers.
Yeah.
Congratulations to us. Dick's House of Sport, South Park, Strongsville, 440-212-7136. Doug White Allstate Insurance Agency, 440-235-8500. Rust Belt Automotive and Diesel, 216-883-0434. Cleveland Ketchup, use code BEARDED for 10% off. Bearded Bastards Barbecue Sauce, use code BEARDED15 for 15% off. Make sure you're checking out Logan at Logan Bruce Music. He does have original music.
Yeah.
He does original music, guys.
Yeah.
It's not just the Cleveland stuff. It's original music as well. You can check him out on Spotify and Apple Music and the YouTubes. And you can check out Eric E.S. Green. He's got some poetry out there too on the Instagrams. And you can check us out also, Bearded Browns podcast. We just won for the second year in a row Sports Podcast of the Year from Scene Magazine. So check that out as well. And we will see you back here, guys, next Thursday.
Sounds great. I can't wait. Hopefully we'll be standing on top of the White Sox.
Yep.
Let's hope so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
All right.
We'll see you at Guardsmania next week. What you gonna do?
Go Guards.
Did he end it? Or
No, he left us out here live. He left us out here to,
all right. We got
struggle by our own means.
Yeah. We'll just hang out here live for a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If my poetry is Edward Racy, by the way, not ES.
Oh, it's live. I just left the studio instead of ended the stream.
We know we were having a good time with it.
Okay, bye.